Okay, and let's say you've turned $100 into $1,000, and now you're waiting for the bear market. I will guarantee you will not put the same amount back in because you'll be terrified of losing it. And what you'll end up doing is sizing the position much smaller than you would have done. And you play with a negative psychology because every time you buy those lows, you're going to 10, 20, 50x, depending on what you're buying. Just of major coins, right? So it is a huge wealth generator.
While addressing the query, when do I sell my crypto? Former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal stresses the importance of understanding one's goals and investment time horizon, noting that crypto is inherently cyclical. Pal states, crypto is very cyclical based on this everything code thesis. This thesis ties these cycles to global financial patterns, Bitcoin halvings, and U.S. presidential elections. Bitcoin's price performances for the past 10 years or so have been dominated by bear and bull cycles. In general, the Bitcoin halving is regarded as the catalyst for the start of the bull market, while the last 2 years ahead of each such event are dictated by the bears. According to Raoul Pal, this cyclical phenomenon has been observed since the global financial crisis of 2008, when central banks reset interest payments to zero and initiated a new cycle of debt maturity every 3 to 4 years. The debate often revolves around whether to trade out at the peak of crypto fall to avoid significant drawdowns or to ride out the cycle. Pal warns investors against rash judgments based on hype. He recommends avoiding leverage, investing mostly in the top 3 to 5 market cap tokens, and allocating 10% to higher-risk altcoins. Furthermore, since the end of February, the total market capitalization of crypto has been range-bound at around $2.5 trillion. Market observers are conflicted about whether the cycle is already over or not. Pal's macro thesis projects the crypto space growing from $2.5 trillion today to $10 to $15 trillion by the end of this cycle, potentially reaching $100 trillion by 2032. Ready to uncover more insights? Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications always to get our latest content.
So as we know, crypto is very cyclical based on this everything code thesis that I've built, which is there's a debt refi cycle that happens every 4 years because everybody reset their interest rates in 2008 to zero and then made all the government debts in around 4 years, 3 to 5 years. And it's created this endless cycle, which happens to be the same as the Bitcoin halving cycle and the US presidential cycle. So we're faced with these cycles. And out of 3 years, crypto is the best performing asset in the world. In year 1, crypto spring, year 2, crypto summer, year 3, crypto fall, and macro spring, summer, fall. And then year 4 is the worst. And the worst is what scars people. And people want to know how to deal with this. So how I think about it first is you've got to establish what are your goals here? What is your time horizon for your investments? So if you're saying, my big macro thesis is this space goes from, let's say, $2.5 trillion today to, let's say, 10 to 15 trillion at the end of this cycle, depending how big this cycle is, to 100 trillion by, let's say, 2032. So we've got the largest wealth generating macro trend of all time, and it's still in front of us. Yes, the early days were super high returns, but it's still super high returns. So we don't want to fuck this up, right? We want to capture that. So a lot of people start thinking, well, should I trade out in macro crypto fall, try and sell that peak and then buy in the bottom, and then I don't have to go through the horror of the 75% drawdowns? Let's think about this. So for those of you who don't need the money now, then I would take that cycle, the down cycle, with utter joy and add. Expect to see an 80% drawdown. Maybe it's less this time. Maybe it's more. Solana was down 97% this time. ETH was last time down 97%. And embrace it, because every time you buy those lows, you're going to 10, 20, 50x, depending on what you're buying. Just of major coins, right? So it is a huge wealth generator. If you imagine Solana last year was a 10x in crypto spring. We haven't got to summer or fall yet. We're just transitioning to summer now. So if you've got a long-term time horizon, you will definitely make more money by following that route. Buy the sell-off, embrace it, have cash ready for it. Right now, we're probably in the last opportunity to put cash into the market. So if you've got cash or you're waiting, now is the last chance, because after this we hit the banana zone and everything goes a bit crazy. And then it becomes unbuyable, and your entry levels, if we do have a bear market, then you're below water. You should not be from these levels. So, or not by much anyway. These are good final levels to jam in as much as you can. Okay. So if you're the long-term person, wait for 2026 and go, yeah, I can't believe I can get more and compound more wealth. Get some cash ready for that and be ready when everybody's panicking. You be the person to stand up and say, I got money. Because don't forget, nobody has money when you bloody need to. It was hard for me to find money because cash flows have gone down because the economy's slow, all the other things that you have to deal with. But anyway.
Bitcoin bulls are enjoying 10% month-to-date gains currently, but traders warns that the picture should soon look very different for Bitcoin price action. The timing of the bull run remains a mysterious and highly debated topic. Predictions about its onset, current status, and conclusion are constantly made and speculated upon. The founder of the on-chain and market data platform CryptoQuant has noted that the bull run is at its midpoint and suggests that if this trend persists, the bull cycle might end by April 2025. As per Raoul Pal, we're currently entering what he terms as crypto summer, a phase that traditionally unfolds in June and July as part of the seasonal cycle. This period often witnesses substantial bullish momentum in the market, commonly known as the banana zone. Now, let's redirect our attention to a video.
We are just transitioning where we're about to hit crypto summer. And that usually happens June, July of the season cycle. And then it goes bananas. Of course, there will be corrections and there will be sharp corrections. 30, 40% can happen. But it usually goes up into the banana zone from here. That's when you've got to be careful not to lose your mind and fuck this up doing other things you shouldn't be doing, like putting all your portfolio into meme coins because they're going up the most because you want to maximize profit. Think of this as a longer term game. You'll make plenty of money if you stay with a secular trend in the big tokens and have a small amount to play in the other stuff. The other thing that I have been doing is I've been taking some of my main bet of Solana and putting it into NFTs, which is another thesis. And this is Xcopy and Beeple, two artists. I've bought some others, but the two artists where I think that a huge amount of that 100 trillion of wealth will end up being stored in high-end art that stays within crypto land. And I'll talk about that thesis another time. So I've been taking some profits into assets, long-term assets, but really, for me, I'll take a third off and then run the rest. I don't want to mess around with it too much. Every time I've seen anybody, the reason Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, or essentially, is because he never sold his stock. He didn't trade his stock; he just held on. Bill Gates, all of these people. You hold on to a secular trend; it compounds over time. And if you can buy more, buy more. But listen, that's the general idea for you. I hope that helps. Try not to time it in terms of exact price. Do it in terms of time. I like the end of the year because it's usually the end of this year because it's usually kind of pumptastic. And you'll feel pretty decent about taking some money off. It'll feel like significant money. You won't feel like it's too early, but it'll be enough that can make the lifestyle difference. And that gives you the psychology to succeed. For those of you who really want to compound wealth, again, don't do anything and buy the sell-off. Use it to your advantage. Get cash aside, squirrel it away, save it, do anything you can so you can jam money in. Anyway, good luck out there. The banana zone is coming. It will take care of a lot of sins. Meantime, don't fuck this up. Generally, the cycles have peaked at the end of the year, but could that change? Remember, the last cycle was a weird one because we had this huge run up, we had a peak, we had a huge sell-off, then we had another peak, didn't make much progress, and then it collapsed after that at the end of the year.
Whether the experts are correct about the current stage of the bull cycle is uncertain. The trajectory of Bitcoin's price still remains unclear, with varied opinions on the bull run status. Some indicators point to a possible peak, while others imply potential for further growth. Ultimately, the market's unpredictability makes Bitcoin's future valuation an ongoing and intriguing mystery. Do you agree with Raoul Pal's characterization of June and July as the typical time frame for the banana zone? We welcome your insights in the comments section below. If you found this content valuable, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to stay informed. Thank you for joining us on this journey.